Today's video is sponsored by Level 8. Alright, so today we're doing a headphone comparison between the Soundcore Space One Pro, the Sony Ultwear, the Bose Quietcomfort, and the Beats Studio Pro. The Space One Pro and the Ultwear both retail for $200, and the Quietcomfort and the Studio Pro retail for $350. One of these is insanely overpriced. We're going to get into all of that, but for right now, let's talk noise cancellation.
Quiet.
So the results of that test actually match up with what I've experienced in real life. My personal ranking for noise cancellation between these headphones is the Quietcomfort in first, the Ultwear in a very close second, the Space One Pro in third, and the Beats Studio Pro in fourth. If your plan is to stay closer to that $200 price point, or if you're willing to go up to $350, in terms of noise cancellation, you've got options. Between the Ultwear and the Space One Pro, it's not like you're really missing out if you decide to save a little money. And if money is no concern, then I recommend the Quietcomfort. Now, as far as transparency mode, I think they each do a decent job, but if I had to choose one, it would be the Ultwear. I feel like they ultimately are the most effective at passing through your ambient sounds. If you're in an airport, you need to hear an announcement. If somebody walks up to you, you need to have a conversation. I feel like the Ultwear allow you to do that the best. And then I'd say the Space One Pro and the Studio Pro are kind of in the middle. And lastly, I would have the Quietcomfort. The transparency mode isn't bad, but I would say out of the four, it's the least effective. So next, let's talk about a pretty hot topic when it comes to the Space One Pro, and that's the fact that they don't come with a case. They have this new flexi curve design, which allows the headphones to be insanely compact, and that makes them great as far as portability. But again, they don't come with a case. Now, there is a case for the Soundcore Space One Pro. You just have to purchase it separately. Now, even though I'm glad the other three headphones each come with a case, let's just say not all cases are created equal. The Ultwear case is great. I think it does an excellent job of protecting the headphones. It also gives you somewhere to store your cables. And then with the Quietcomfort, with them coming in at $300, I do feel like the case matches the price tag. It's got a leather type finish. It feels good, it looks good, it protects the headphones. It also gives you somewhere to store your cables. And then there's the Studio Pro case. It's kind of a soft canvas type material. I think for these to be $350, they could have included something a little nicer. And then I don't like the fact that the zipper only goes halfway around the case. It really limits how much you can open the case, and it just feels like you really have to dig the headphones out of there. Just a few things to consider if you're someone that travels quite a bit. Now, something else to consider is build quality, and I actually think the Space One Pro feel the best in the hand. It's primarily plastic, but it feels rather substantial, and then the padding is definitely the softest and most forgiving out of the bunch. And I will say, the ear cups hug the ear quite nicely. The Ultwear and the Quietcomfort have great build quality as well. They both have a lightweight matte plastic finish. The ear cups are soft, they're forgiving, but for me personally, again, I feel like the Space One Pro feel a little nicer. Now, when it comes to the Studio Pro, one thing I'm not a fan of is the fact that the ear cups don't swivel. They do collapse, which is great for portability, but if you wanted to lay these flat on a table, or if you wanted to wear them flat around your neck when you're not listening to anything, that's not an option. In addition to that, at the top of the headband, there's almost zero padding. And then when it comes to something as simple as just handling the headphones, they're easily the noisiest out of the group. Now, we all know noise canceling headphones come in handy when it comes to travel, but something else that comes in handy is quality luggage. Until I got older, I never realized how expensive luggage can get. but that's where a company like Level 8 comes in. Their 20-inch Grace Expandable carry-on combines quality and affordability. They've got multiple color options. I'm a fan of the red and gray. As you can see, the luggage is lightweight at only 9 pounds, but it's also durable with a 3-layer micro diamond textured surface. We all know airline employees can be less than gentle when it comes to handling luggage, which is why you also have 2 metal corners to protect from external impact. There's an aluminum telescoping handle along with 4 rubber wheels for effortless and multi-directional handling. If you're tight on space and you need a little extra room, the luggage can expand an additional 1.57 inches. There's even a side-mounted TSA-approved zipper lock to keep your belongings safe and secure. One of my favorite features is the vertically accessible laptop compartment. This makes it easy to get to your laptop when you're navigating security or when you're on a layover in between stops. It's able to fit laptops up to 15 inches, and it even works for my 16-inch MacBook Pro. There's also compartments for any of your electronic accessories. There's plenty of room for clothes and toiletries, and you can keep your wardrobe nice and neat with the built-in straps. I really like this front section. This area works great if you have shoes you want to pack, but you want to keep them separate from your clothes. When it comes to weekend getaways or business trips, this is the perfect luggage, and for a limited time, there's a 20% off coupon on Amazon, and you can pair it with this code on the screen for an additional 5% off. If you've been needing to upgrade your luggage, this is the perfect opportunity, so make sure you check out the link in the description. Now, moving things over to fit and comfort, the Space One Pro, the Ultwear, and the Quiet Comfort are all extremely comfortable. They range from 8 to 10 ounces, so not really any huge discrepancies in terms of weight. The Quiet Comfort are the lightest out of the group, which is worth noting, and it's just something about these headphones that feels effortless. They're lightweight, they're portable, they're easy to wear, they have great noise cancellation among other things, and it's just a very straightforward experience. Now, not everything is perfect about these headphones. There is one thing that definitely annoys me, which we'll talk about later, but in terms of fit and comfort, these would probably be my first recommendation. And again, just to be clear, you can't really go wrong with the Ultwear or the Space One Pro either. Now, as far as the Studio Pro, there's 2 things that just don't work for me. Like I said earlier, there's basically 0 padding on the top of the headband, and for me, wearing these headphones is just not comfortable. And then there's the fact that the ear cups are extremely shallow. I have pretty small ears, and when I'm wearing these headphones, I can literally feel the inside of the ear cup pressing against my ear. And then there's the Beats logo on the left ear cup, which is actually the multi-function button. And since the button is located directly on the outside of the ear cup, I literally hear it being pressed every time I use it. Again, it just makes for a very noisy experience. The other 3 headphones have their buttons located on the perimeter of the ear cup. And then you have the Ultwear, which have a combination of buttons and touch-sensitive controls that are not nearly as noisy. Something else to keep in mind is just overall aesthetics. How the headphones look when you're wearing them. The Space One Pro are somewhat large, but not to the point that they draw attention. You do get more of a low profile look with the Quiet Comfort as well as the Studio Pro. Just something to consider if you're not a fan of large headphones. And then when it comes to the Ultwear, these are some big boys. They definitely stick out from the head quite a bit, which could be a turnoff for some people. Now, on the flip side, something else to consider is that the Ultwear are the only headphones out of the group that offer wearing detection. So if you're listening to music and you take the headphones off, your music will automatically pause. Now, moving our focus to connection, each one of the headphones except for the Studio Pro support multi-point, which is kind of crazy to say considering they're $350. You guys can probably guess by now which headphones I was talking about when I said one of these is insanely overpriced. And then aside from multi-point, another thing to mention is that only the Ultwear and the Space One Pro support LDAC, which is a high resolution codec. The Studio Pro actually offer lossless audio, but only when using them wired through the Type-C port. And since we're talking about connection, something else I want to touch on is the experience that you get with the respective apps. I would say that the Sony and the Soundcore apps stand out the most. They definitely give you the most amount of features and options. When it comes to noise cancellation, with both you can set your desired level, or you can choose adaptive, where the headphones will automatically adjust themselves. You've got multiple options in terms of EQ. You can choose from a list of presets. You can create your own preset, or the app can even create a preset for you based on a hearing test. You've got options to track your volume levels to help protect your hearing. You just have a lot more at your disposal when it comes to the Altwear and the Space One Pro. The Beats app for the Studio Pro is pretty limited. It doesn't really let you do much aside from switch between noise cancellation and transparency. There's no built-in EQ controls, and in fact, the only way you can access EQ control is if you use the headphones wired through the Type-C port. When you do that, you can double press the power button to cycle through 3 different settings. Definitely not the setup I would expect for a pair of $350 headphones. As far as the Bose app, it's decent. It gives you the basics. You can create custom noise canceling modes as well as adjust your EQ. But the thing that bothers me the most when it comes to these headphones is that the app is incredibly inconsistent. When it comes to connecting the headphones to my devices, whether it be my phone or my laptop, that usually works with no issue. But when it comes to connecting the headphones to the app, more times than not, it takes multiple attempts. And that's probably the biggest issue when it comes to these headphones. Aside from that, they're great, but the inconsistency of the app can definitely be a pain. Now, before we get into sound quality, let's touch on battery life really quick. So the Space One Pro lead the pack with up to 60 hours on a single charge. Of course, that's going to be with noise cancellation turned off. And they lead the pack when it comes to fast charging, with 5 minutes getting you roughly 8 hours of use. The Altwear and the Studio Pro aren't bad with up to 50 hours and 40 hours respectively, and the Quietcomfort are significantly lower with up to 24 hours. And then we got to talk sound quality, which for a lot of people is the most important aspect. And this is a situation where there's one pair of headphones you want to avoid, and I'm sure you guys can guess which pair that is. The Studio Pro are definitely lacking when it comes to sound quality compared to the other 3. They're extremely neutral, there's not a lot of bass. Combine that with the app, which doesn't give you any options in terms of EQ, and you end up with a very limited sound. The Space One Pro, the Altwear, and the Quietcomfort are much more dynamic. All 3 give you noticeably more bass. They give you a fuller sound, not to mention you have flexibility when it comes to EQ. I would say you can't go wrong with any of the 3 when it comes to sound. With that being said, the Altwear offered the most powerful sound. The bass is a little more impactful, especially when using the alt modes, and I think they're slightly louder than the other 3 as well. Now, for the times you don't want that hardcore bass, all you have to do is turn the alt mode off and you can easily get a more balanced sound. The Space One Pro and the Quietcomfort also sound great. They have excellent bass, and if you're someone that enjoys bass, you're not going to feel left out with either of the 2. The Altwear are just on another level when it comes to bass. With the Space One Pro and the Quietcomfort, there's also really great clarity, great balance, there's no distortion, and honestly, I wouldn't say that one sounds noticeably better than the other. The only thing I would say for sure is that the Altwear have stronger bass and they're slightly louder. And last but not least, in terms of microphone quality, my pick would be the Altwear. I think they do the best job at capturing the voice, but as always, I'll let you guys be the judge.
All right, so first up, we have the Soundcore Space One Pro. As you can see, outdoor environment.
All right, so now we switched over to the Sony Altwear headphones. Again, same outdoor environment. All right, so now we switched over to the Bose Quietcomfort headphones. Same outdoor environment. And last but not least, we have the Beats Studio Pro. Once again, the exact same outdoor environment. So that's my video on the Space One Pro versus the Altwear, the Quietcomfort, and the Studio Pro. There's a lot to consider, but hopefully I helped outline some key differences. And as long as you stay away from the Studio Pro, I'd say you're in pretty good hands no matter which way you go. So make sure you check out the links down in the description if you're interested in any of the products that you've seen in this video. And aside from that, I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next one.